Good morning. It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization and Locked On Big 12. And this could be
the first
day of the rest of our lives.
United States men's national team.
Belgium tonight
in the
FIFA World Cup with a spot in the quarterfinals on the line. USA.
This weekend. I was in Midland, Texas.
Of all of the places,
it is one of the
cities of all time.
Midland,
Odessa, this area.
And it permeates, it screams United States of America. And you could feel this palpable energy of the oil man, the general oil baron. Who isn't all that verse on soccer. But there's one thing he loves is his country. And over the weekend, celebrating America's 250th birthday, you could feel the fact that the World Cup is here for an event like this. There was this excitement, but also angst. And the angst being that America's best player, the striker, Folarin Balogun, would not play. But wait. See, I've been told. I've followed FIFA all of 3 weeks. And I've been told that FIFA as an institution, those are 4 letters of corruption. But if the corruption works in my favor, I'm a little less upset with it. As Balogun's red card has not been lifted, but his suspension has been for a year by FIFA. Just a 1-year suspension. On his one-game suspension. Will play tonight. We'll get there.
Tonight. We'll get there over the course of today's show.
About how the NBA has been thrown into complete and utter
spiral.
Blockbuster trade. At what point do we stop using the term blockbuster trade? How many blockbusters can there be in one offseason? Oh, and by the way, maybe the story of all stories right now that I'm following is a man who drove head-on into traffic, and then after doing so and was injured, started a GoFundMe. And now the Attorney General in Missouri is going after that man. But he's not just any man. He's Matt Miller of ESPN, the NFL insider. Now, he wasn't banging Mike Vrabel. We won't spend weeks on this story. That I know of, at least. But he was driving head-on into traffic. We have to decide which of those two things is what. Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. Will Dalton produces today in place of Addie Bates, who has the day off after she watched Mexico last night. Laura Jimenez runs the board, and we do have to go there. I stayed up for this one. For a large portion of the game, I got up early to study it again, and chaos was the word that permeated throughout the group chat. Got all the old college group chats, and chaos is the word permeate. If you missed this last time, you're up at 6:03 and 56 seconds Eastern time, so I understand that. But the context you need for a match where England ended with 10 men, where they were resilient defensively, where Mexico was the much more aggressive team. But the Englishmen were they were reserved enough. If they strike at the perfect, Jude Bellingham strikes at the perfect time, if we get our scoring out of the way, we should be fine. That was the case. A 3-2 victory over Mexico at Estadio Azteca does not start with a 3-2 victory for England over Mexico at Estadio Azteca. It starts in the nights prior. Where England had rented, they had booked 15 different hotel locations across the area, hoping that maybe the Mexican fan base would not find out where they were staying. But you doubt. Oh, ye of little faith. Of course. Mexico as a country quickly found out where the England national team would hole up for the night. And there were fireworks, mariachi bands screaming into that. The police had to move Mexican citizens 200 yards away from the hotel because of the atmosphere they brought to England immediately. It wasn't just when they walked into the venue. It was days on end beforehand of torture, respectful torture, pretty hilarious and awesome torture. Then Mexico. Defending Estadio Azteca walks into a venue where there's the fan wall behind them. And an hour rain delay only gives you more cervezas.
I think I'm saying that correctly.
And England walks into what was one of the most hostile environments that you could draw up in an international match. The World Cup, quarterfinals on the line. Mexico was a display last night of the best of what the World Cup could be. Mexico was a display. It's the yellow tint, right? It's when you go to watch a movie. They must have changed scenes to Mexico because now everything turned really yellow, really fast. It's this rap the country gets. Like when I was growing up in small town Arkansas. Hey, you know, we're going on a cruise. Where are you docking? Cozumel. Well, hide your wallet. Oh, yeah, we're going to Mexico. Here it's pretty dangerous. The misconceptions. The Mexico, a country with the top 15 GDP in the world. The misconceptions. The Mexico is this place that, we got to protect that border. We got to build the wall because everybody in Mexico is trying to escape this country that is so ragged. This country that is so third world. They're trying to get here to the land of opportunity, the land of freedom, the United States of America. What I saw last night between England and Mexico was a display of humanity. What I saw the last 2 or 3 days, the interviews with the fans standing outside the hotel, shooting off fireworks and blaring music to keep the England men's team awake. That was a display of humanity. Not of some dangerous, gross. Stay away, Mexico. We can't go there. You're risking it, dog. By virtue of being with the Savannah Bananas organization, I've gotten to see 150 different cities in the last 3 years across the United States. You guys ready to cast the first stone there? We ready to have that conversation? I've never felt as much pride. Standing in Midland, Texas, national anthem blares on Saturday. USA, the chant breaks out. You get the chills for what's beautiful about this country on its 250th birthday. Man, I can't. I got to give all the credit. I got to give all the credit. The scenes that we've been treated to out of Mexico City. To the scenes that we've been treated to out of Mexico. Because it proves in a similar way, similar but different, where a few weeks ago, a month and a half ago, the West Virginia baseball team wins a regional at home, wins a super regional, goes to the College World Series. And country road, after every game, we're singing country road. And all of a sudden, this becomes America realizes, we all know that song. And it doesn't have the Red Sox affiliation. Or like a Chelsea dag. We should do that as a country. And you realize this place that's underrated and overlooked, a West Virginia, really rocks and is fairly badass. May I raise you, Mexico City, and Estadio Azteca, that showed the best of what the world could be last night. In a game that was chaos. I went at one point, I was a tired little camper. We're 33 minutes into the match, and I said, I want to go to the bathroom. Powder my nose, brush my teeth, get ready for bed. 4 minutes later, 3 goals have been scored. Let's take you back to 9 hours ago. England. Jude Bellingham. Hey, Jude, go ahead and strike first.
Bukayo Saka. Takes on Guyana. Crosses free. Header 1-0. England lead. Jude Bellingham in the Azteca. Mexico beat the better team. England strike first.
At that point, I have applied the toothpaste to the toothbrush, and toothbrush has entered into orifice. We're getting ready. We're about to rock here. We're about to go bristle to enamel. By the time bristle has been taken off of enamel, I'm the kind of person, I leave the water going. Maybe that's too high fluid. I leave the water going while I brush my teeth. I release toothbrush. Rinse it off. Then I don't do the cup thing. I'm not fill a cup of water. I dip down. Like old school cowboy style. Like sip from the sink, head sideways.
sideways.
And as you're sloshing the water around, 3 minutes of real time later, Jude Bellingham does it.
Jude Bellingham does it all over again.
Great one forward. England have it again with Anthony Gordon. Big 5 or 10 minutes on the cards here for Mexico. It's going to Harry Kane. Crosses the Bellingham there again. And England lead 2-0. And in the blink of an eye, the game's going away from Mexico.
And I don't have my phone on. I'm brushing my teeth with my phone sitting next to me. Remember they used to have those toothbrushes that played music? Like a minute or 2 minutes long. You could listen to a song with little tooth tunes. No free ads. And I set the toothbrush down. And you're listening to the show today from McKinney, Texas. Get ready to listen to Dick and Doug in the mornings. I know you love Dick and Doug. You get a little taste of the Drake Toll Show first. And by the way, Sirius XM 375, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channels, the Westwood One Sports app, they're all open and available for you to listen to the entire show. And you're wondering, what does this guy look like? I've thought this guy look like. I've thought 7 months of this show. What does this guy look like?
7 months of this show.
I'll give you a peek. I'll give you a peek inside.
I'll give you a peek inside.
I've finished brushing my teeth. I go to my jammies on. Pajama pants. These party animals bottoms. I do the little button up, silky button up shirt, little cap. You know, kind of like an elf hat. I'm not really sure if there's a word for those. Like a real rustic Victorian look. Of a little candle that I wait around with through the house. And as I'm donning my kerchief and my cap, Julian Quinones. All of a sudden, a couple of minutes after that, shakes Mexico City.
It's the left of Alvarado in to the danger area. There's the shot, the goal over. It's Quinones. It's lift off in the Azteca. It's game on in the last 16. Mexico back in it.
Audio courtesy of Fox. I have slipped on my nighty-night slippers. My teeth are brushed. And I am walking back into the living room after a 7 minute hiatus. And in the 36th minute, Jude Bellingham scored. In the 38th minute, Jude Bellingham scored. In the 42nd minute, Julian Quinones has scored. It's now 2-1. England over Mexico. Chaos. And it would be red card issued out to Joel Kwanzaa. A Harry Kane penalty, Raul Jimenez penalty. The chaos. It just never was a fluid match. And England having 10 players that helped. There was never. Mexico could never just get into a consistent rhythm. And with England having 10 guys, you want to muck it up. That was the goal. And the aforementioned Harry Kane penalty, 60th minute, gives England a 3-1 lead.
Harry Kane scores. England lead 3-1. And the England captain scores his 85th international goal.
Not over yet.
69th minute.
Nice. Raul Jimenez. Brother of Laura Jimenez. A penalty opportunity himself. Now 3-2.
Concentration on the face of Jimenez. The Azteca waits. Brilliant penalty. Never in doubt. Ice cool under pressure. 3-2 in the Azteca. Game on again.
And from there, it was let's just muck it up to finish. 11 minutes, the longest 11 minutes of our life. Once we hit 90 and just hunker down and fend off Mexico. A Mexican team that will go down in history as one of the most electric the country has seen in the modern era, especially. And a team that people that the nation, Mexico, rallied behind both in venue and at home last night. But it was Jude Bellingham who stole the show, who scored twice in this match. Met with Fox post game, and he summed it up. He summed the few days since landing in Mexico City and the chaos. He summed it all up perfectly.
That makes says, just what sort of result is that to come here against this opposition in this stadium at this altitude?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the biggest England wins in a while. Probably the biggest one I can remember as a fan or player. The best night of my England career, our England career, probably. yeah, just unbelievable. I can't put it into words right now. It's tough to kind of gather everything together, the goals, the penalty against, the penalty for, the red card. It was a chaotic game, but credit to Mexico, they were a different class. We never underestimated them for 1 minute, and they were exactly as good as we thought they were going to be. But this team showed character tonight, and I'm proud.
Is that what it took to get it over the line, that character? Because you did it with the game, literally half the game with 10 men.
I was just saying that it felt like a full squad performance. It felt like we had 26 players. And every time we cleared the ball, when Big Dan Burn smashed his head off one and cleared it up the pitch, you could see all the subs on the sideline, up all the staff. The fans got behind us in the stadium. I'm sure they're in bits at home, supporting us and watching us. So yeah, that was a real country performance.
The fans are in bits. Harry Kane to Jude Bellingham to the incredible performance by Jordan Pickford, the goalkeeper for England. Late game saves left and right, and a couple of incredible saves, just one off the thumb in the 14th, 15th minute of this that led to the you had to have a pretty in critical moments, namely with 10 guys out there. You had to make it chaotic enough that just and hope the ball rolls your way. What happened in Stadio Azteca last night for England, 3-2 victory over Mexico. When we come back, glory. Well, possibly corruption. But glory for the United States of America. Flo Balogun, the best player of the team, got a red card. It was suspended for tonight's match against Belgium. Is going to play because FIFA, in an unprecedented move, said, I don't know. We'll let him. What? And of course, Norway is still rolling after knocking off perennial power Brazil. What does this mean for the World Cup? How do you feel that one of either England or Norway will go to the semis of the 2026 FIFA World Cup? It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. 310-840-4910. This is the Drake Toll Show.
We know you're jonesing for some football just like we are.
We still have this jonesing for football one?
Opening in 16 days. And yes, we're counting. You're home for the NFL.
We know you're jonesing for
Westwood One Sports.
I have a call with him. I have a call with him this week. Like, dog, what are we doing, man? And I think the problem is that AI isn't writing those. I think Armin specifically is writing those. Right, I was like, Armin, I understand there's a pond in Lawrence, Kansas that we drained because of you, but it will make our product
broadcast
we need the AI.
4 minutes, 30 seconds.
She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover, and a badass G. Far from the eyes of a watchful town, mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, good heart loving on a gravel road.
All right, Will, everything good on your end? Go for it.
Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes.
Will, everything good on your end so far? Cool. Nice. Okay. Yep. No, I watched from home, actually.
Push came down to shove out.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Shoot sharp and walk away. She was good before she changed her name, and I bet that ain't all that's changed. Goddamn, I remember the night.
Oh, Laura, I did bad. Logic, love that. Well, I did a bad thing, and I'm going to go to that Norway audio here off the rip for this segment.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes.
I threw in a Wayne Rooney. I found this like 7 minutes ago. He says it's a disgrace that Flo Balogun gets to play tonight. And I wouldn't add late audio, but that's still a pretty bold statement. Will, how versed are you on soccer? Yep, you and me both.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
But you best bet when the World Cup comes around, man. Oof, yeah, I'm in now. I'm stacked.
I can't win for all this losing. I can't see for all this bruising.
Yeah, us hosting it too. I went to the Germany-Paraguay game in Boston last night.
Just to hold my baby close, get her moving down a county road.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes.
Make up for lost time. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen. She
Gotta go
ran
mute
on
Laura real
sex,
quick.
gasoline. Far more money than a boy like me could hold. She went off to paint the town, and I'm stuck holding these mountains down, Juliet. Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Oh, Lexington's a city, but it ain't so big, it freaks me out. And if I need a breather, I can hit the parkway. Be home before the bars all close, drink away the lies she told. Think about the days. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover in a badass Jeep, far from the eyes of a watchful town. Mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, and good heart loving on.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
Nobody cares.
I don't know.
Thank you, President Trump.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Thank you, Laura.
Touch yourself.
Sending me to a coughing fit. Will Dalton produces. Good morning. Craziest thing in the world happened yesterday. That's hyperbolic. Probably wasn't. There have been crazier things in the world before. I'm sitting in my kitchen. I flew in yesterday from Midland, and early flight, got in Savannah, back home about 2 o'clock. The bags, I'm waiting for my bag, my checked bag, to get through the carousel. And it was 56 minutes of just standing there waiting for the carousel. This is a tiny little airport. It usually happens within 10 minutes, 56 minutes. And they just forgot to get the bags off the plane. They could have taken off to go to the next destination with my bag on that plane. And thankfully, last I go, nope, get the bags. Brought it back out. I get home. First thing I do when I get home is go to record a podcast because, Locked On Big 12. Got to get the latest in, Utah. Possibly leading the conference in the Big 10. Somebody got to cover it. So I sit down and do a podcast with Cameron Stewart. You guys know Cameron Stewart. He's on the show once a week. And what happens is I just, middle of a lightning storm, thunderstorm, bang. House gets struck. Boom, baby. Heck yeah. Not like roof got struck, Fox in the, things like the one scene was Bambi or Fox in the Hound, where, chaos and thunderstorm and the trees on fire and stuff. It wasn't that. I'm probably Pocahontas, one of those old movies. And the only thing that goes out, first thing that goes out, the Wi-Fi. The one thing that I need to survive, the one thing that we need for sustenance in the year of our Lord 2026, lightning strikes my Wi-Fi router. So I go to Xfinity today, 10 o'clock. I've taken together 6 coconuts, and if they work in tandem with my 2 dogs who are still walking as we speak on a little walking pad, it gets me on the air today. That's where we are. In the middle of that fray, in the middle of that chaos, I was trying to also have It was ultimately frustrating because I really wanted to watch Norway against Brazil. Because in no world do the words Norway beating Brazil make sense in soccer. Like that's just, it's not, my brain doesn't work that way. I hear Brazil and I think, oh yeah, quarterfinals. Oh yeah, Brazil semifinals. Brazil, that's soccer. Neymar, come on, Neymar, right guys? No. Norway has Erling Haaland. And Erling Haaland, 25 years old, has jumped onto the international scene in the last couple of years, jumped on the international soccer scene as a whole. But talking high level, international competition, he has been one of the faces of this tournament. And Haaland, for Norway, it gets kind of confusing, doesn't it? Haaland for Norway yesterday would end it in the 90th minute, putting Norway up 2-0 on Brazil.
The other absolutely brilliant since he came on. Haaland, and he wants another one. He's got another one. How about that? Extraordinary. Just phenomenal.
Extraordinary. And now look, before I get to this Folarin Balogun being released, hashtag free flow. That has a couple connotations. Ooh, I can't use hashtag free flow. Nobody search hashtag free flow. Don't do that. That's not going to go well for you. But yesterday, Folarin Balogun is released. But before, in the middle of him being released, as I'm patching together my Wi-Fi, they do the Norway Roo. And I thought, like, this is a minute long. I was like, how do we shorten this? I can't. The build-up just gives me ultimate chill. This is the celebration Norway does when they win a World Cup match. It is Erling Haaland on the field with a little, just the tiniest little drum, and hundreds of thousands of Norwegians across the world gathering together. Let it overtake you. Norway stuns Brazil. That's the headline from ESPN. Norway stuns Brazil to reach first quarters ever. You know what's stunning? Oh, I love it. Do you remember when the FBI raided FIFA? Can I tell you something? A secret between you, me, God, Will Dalton, and Laura Jimenez. Secret number one, you can listen to the entirety of the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports app, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, or on SiriusXM 375. Secret number two. When FIFA was raided by the FBI, which is just an insane sentence. Imagine saying the NFL was raided by the FBI. Oh man, really stinks that the NBA was subject to an FBI raid. This happened. FIFA got raided, and at the time, I don't know if I cared outside of, that's kind of funny. It's a pretty funny headline. And I've been told year in and year out how corrupt FIFA is. Oh, we hate FIFA. I didn't buy into that. I don't really. We hear the NFL is scripted and Roger Goodell is corrupt, and then year in and year out, what do? Sunday rolls around, and what do you watch? You watch Sunday, and then you see end racism in the end zone. And then the old guy John from Arkansas, I was like, I'm not going to watch the NFL because I don't like end racism. Nah. All right, John, it's just end racism in the end zone. It's there. I'm not sure if it's going to end racism, but they're trying. They're doing their best. And then you know what John does? Sunday rolls around, the Kansas City Chiefs come on, and there he is, watching the end racism end zone in the NFL. I'm not going to watch them woke. And then there you are watching it. There's corruption everywhere, if you really put your mind to it. And for FIFA, I didn't give a rat's ass. Until I did. Until they took my boy Folarin Balogun, who I've been watching for years, who I've been following since his young soccer days for the Youth FC team. I've been a Folarin Balogun guy since day one. And they took my son, my soccer hero, and they threw him in soccer jail. This is when I realized that FIFA is truly corrupt and that we need to do something. We need to raid them again with the FBI. Send them back in there. Whatever they didn't get last time, send the FBI back. And this was all over a red card where Flo is suspended for a play where he steps on a guy's calf against Bosnia and Herzegovina. going for the ball. Where in the NBA, we would probably, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had stepped on someone's calf in this way, we would have given the other guy a technical foul and sent Shai to the line. We would have given the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Instead, in FIFA, Balogun, we give him a red card and suspend him for the next match. Finally, it feels like the entire country, in the modern era of social media, we could not be more connected right now. The entire country is rooting for one guy, one entity, one thing, and it's the United States men's national team. And then you took the guy, the player that we were all rooting for, the dude who we were excited to watch, and you brought him off the pitch. Look, pitch. I'm getting it. I'm learning. All right, come on. And Balogun was not supposed to play today until yesterday. My favorite corrupt organization, FIFA, sits down and says, you know what? Joke's over, guys. We're going to let him play. In a statement on its website, FIFA says, by Operation Article 27 FDC, my favorite article, the implementation of the automatic match suspension for USA player Balogun is suspended for a probationary period of 1 year. They did not revoke the red card. They didn't even revoke the suspension. They just suspended the suspension for a year. So he may still be suspended at some point. Just not right now. Oh, boy. Now, how does this make any sense? It doesn't. It doesn't whatsoever. Wayne Rooney, yesterday, said that he goes on national television, Wayne Rooney, soccer legend, goes on national TV for the BBC and says, this is a disgrace. Here's how the soccer community has approached this.
I think it's an absolute disgrace. I really do. And I think I got an old UEFA. I got a 3-game ban before Euro 2012. So I got due to miss the 3 group games. And I got asked, basically told if I go over to Switzerland and do a training session with a bunch of kids, the third game gets taken off, which I didn't agree. I agreed to do it because I didn't want a 3-game ban, but I thought that was wrong. But for this to be suspended, they had to take the red card away, which I think was probably the right decision, and then he can play. But to suspend it for a year, I think it's an absolute disgrace. Infantino, he should be ashamed of this, because I think for the sportsmanship of this game is in question here. And if I'm one of the opponents, if I'm USA's opponent, I'd be absolutely fuming. But I just think it's wrong in every way.
This is not too dissimilar. Yeah, you're listening right now in Spring, Texas. You're like, at what point are we going to stop talking about soccer? Let me put this to you in college football terms. Yeah. Ole Miss quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss. He technically, according to the NCAA, cannot play in 2026. He's going to play because the government, the United States, happy birthday, issued an injunction effectively suspending the NCAA's jurisdiction over Trinidad Chambliss for a year. We didn't call it a disgrace. We didn't freak out. We're like, hell yeah, man. Good football player gets to play football. I like that. Nice job up top. Hey, here in the FIFA realm, it is, albeit confusing, weird, good, probably not. I mean, you just lift the red card. Don't suspend the suspension. That's a little odd. But the entire international community is freaking out over something that we do pretty often, actually. We do this with our organizations, with our 3 letters, the NFL, with our 4 letters, the NCAA. This isn't abnormal for us. It's unheard of in the international soccer community, but ultimately, how FIFA got there is not the important part for me. The important part is they got it right. Everybody agreed that it shouldn't have been a red card, and that Balogun, the United States best player, should play tonight. Zlatan said on Fox this, because Zlatan's been the studio host for years and a proud face of the World Cup for decades, and has been the analyst for Fox this year, said his reaction to Flo being able to is like, yeah, this shouldn't have been a red card. Here you go.
Correct decision in the end, but poor process for you?
We can let Alexei wait. What I want to say is I'm happy for the US. Obviously, it's a different situation, but like Terry said, first of all, he should not get a red card. Yes. And then they should have come quicker this call, but I'm happy for the US team because the US team has been amazing, but Balo has been super amazing. And with him is an extra force.
So Rudy, he says disgrace. Zlatan, who I favor in this debate, says at the end of this, no matter how we got to it, you just have to be excited for the United States of America that Folarin Balogun, the most electric player on the pitch, will play tonight against Belgium. If the United States wins, they will head to the quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup. You best be glued to a TV tonight at your local sports bar. You're not watching this from the couch. They'll feel the United States inside. Feel the bald eagle rise out of your chest. When we come back, it's our biggest losers of the day. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Howard Taft makes an appearance? Oh, yeah. This is the Drake Toll Show.
While you're dodging the heat this summer, stay cool with the latest.
Go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation, glad they conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to throne. that of all the young gods I have known. Yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo Kendall. I guess time does make fools of us all.
Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. Kinnick Stadium, Savannah Bananas sold it out for 2 games this weekend against the Firefighters on Roku. Yeah, little Roku City, come on now. And True TV, yeah. Really cool, man. I didn't know that the wave to the Stead Family Hospital is so new. It's a 10-year-old tradition. It's still one of the best traditions now in college sports. When you wave the kids, we wave the kids both nights. It's awesome, man. Another opportunity for the organization to be, as fans, that's the whole thing. Fans first. Saw it again this weekend, and man, again, kind of that weekend of reflection. The 250th birthday of the United States of America. And however you celebrated, or if you didn't celebrate, if you didn't get out, if you hung out at the house, you felt sick, whatever you did. The middle of the World Cup, it feels like there's this unification across the United States of America and the world, hence the World Cup, where we've all gathered together in the name of sports and birthdays and patriotism. And it's, again, I think a lot of the messaging of, it's not that we have everything right, but it's the idea that we're striving to get there, that we're striving for progress that makes this place incredible. And this weekend, hopefully you were able to reflect on that and take time with family or yourself, or however you did it. I hope you did it. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Will Dalton in producing today for Addie Bates, who is out. She's sad after the Mexico deal, which I understand completely. And speaking of the Mexico loss. Oh, sorry, this is too far. It's time for our biggest losers of the day.
That was uncalled for.
Sorry.
That was uncalled for. Drake told
me. I was too deep in the segue. I couldn't stop. The biggest loser is Howard Taft, who caught a stray this weekend when the president, Donald Trump, sat down with the First Lady, Usha Vance, and just outed Taft for being the fattest president ever, but added an addendum to that. Here you go.
Others, like President William Taft, throw out the first pitch of baseball. He was a large man, very large, and he loved baseball. He'd go to baseball games, loved the hot dogs at the baseball games. He was our heaviest president, and I have to be careful because I don't want to supersede his record. And a thing like that would be possible if I allowed it to happen. For all of you out there watching, keep yourself in good shape, right? Like you're in such good shape.
4 times. He goes back to really fat guy, really heavy guy, super big guy. I could be the fattest president if I wanted to be, but I'm not going to let that happen. Biggest loser today, Howard Taft. Why, Howard? Because you're fat. And everyone's saying it. We're all talking about it. It's 2026. We haven't let it go yet. Will Dalton, middle baseball guy. Will, before we get into this audio, thoughts on Randy Rosarina? Just general thoughts.
Randy Rosarina. General thoughts? I don't know.
Well,
good talk.
Thought after this.
Good talk.
I'm a Yankee fan, so I don't.
Yeah, he just used the entire team, the ABS challenges, in the span of one at-bat in the bottom of the first inning. Take a listen from the Seattle Mariners.
Even though Cease missed a little bit of time with the hamstring injury. Randy is challenging this. It does not look like it will go especially well for him. Maybe it's powered by T-Mobile. So Mariners down to one challenge, 2 batters into the first inning. Him out of here. He locked him up at 97. Oh, this is not good. I mean, this is a possible game changer in a very bad way for the Mariners. Randy uses both challenges, right, and uses them up. 2 batters into the Mariners' first inning.
Yep. Well, over the weekend, Randy Rosarina, first inning, just back-to-back pitches and no more challenge. Just no more ABS. Now, your updated thoughts on Randy Rosarina.
I mean, listen, I appreciate that the guy leads AL MVP odds right now, but to do that's a little bit much. That you might want to chill out just a little bit.
Back-to-back pitches. Back-to-back pitches for Rosarina. Biggest loser of the day, Kirk Risa, who has played for like 8 colleges in basketball. I referenced him as the Kentucky guard, the Cincinnati guard, the West Virginia guard, the UT Permian Basin guard. I think he played Long Beach State for like a month, and now the FBI wants him. He is, that's never good. Reddit College football, former Arizona, West Virginia, Kentucky, Cincinnati basketball player Kirk Risa has been arrested by the FBI, reportedly for point shaving in a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. Now, all he has to do is hire Brendan Scoresby's lawyer, and surely he'll play college basketball again next season. That's if Mike Pence has the courage here, that's all he got to do. But for now, Kirk Risa has been, this is the funniest part of the whole deal, he has been extradited from Kentucky to West Virginia. So they went and got him. They brought him to West Virginia, and the Estonian, who is set to play professional basketball internationally for Estonia in 2026-27, now has his career in doubt. Probably because he's a part of a multi-million-dollar fraud scandal. That will do it. That'll do it. Biggest loser of the day, Kirk Risa is the final one. Some of our biggest winners, William Carney, the Civil War veteran. This was from the 4th of July speech the president gave. His thoughts on the Civil War. That was a thing.
Few heroes remind us of these truths, more than William Carney, who escaped slavery to become a Union soldier in the Civil War, which was a very big deal at the time.
Which, at the time, kind of a thing. It was at the time. People were talking about it. You may not know. It's a big deal. It's a big deal at the time. Biggest winner, William Carney. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's saying it. Biggest winners, Mexico on Saturday night. There are no vocals in this. This is fireworks, and we'll play the whole minute. This is fireworks, mariachi bands, and screaming from Mexican citizens outside of England's hotel on Saturday night. That lasted for, who is to say how long? Now, police would disperse this and move it 200 yards away from the hotel. But it didn't end it. Yeah, it just got louder. This brought in more.
The winner is that we still lost, so.
Sure, but it's such a win. Like, I wish the United States would do this. Instead, it's just Knicks fans rubbing raw eggs all over their body and climbing poles and beat each other up. Like, I would love if we did like this, or throwing eggs at Victor Wembanyama. If we did this against Belgium tonight, like I love just, hey, release your inhibition, feel the rain in your skin, sit outside of an opposing team's hotel room for the FIFA World Cup. It's why you host the World Cup. It's what Mexico did to England on Saturday night ahead of the match on Sunday. And then they pulled, I think this one's the BBC, I believe, pulled a Mexican Daily Mail, pulled a fan from Mexico to explain why exactly they're doing this.
I think that they would love to hear some Mexican music. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know if the police think that our music is right enough for them, but I do believe that they should at least hear a little bit of mariachi.
Is this your lullaby to try and help England sleep? Is that what you're doing?
Oh yeah, this is completely a lullaby to go.
Yep. Just a lullaby.
I thought it was a jam. I was enjoying it.
I was kind of bumping some Vicente Fernandez in there. Get some El Rey. La Bamba. There's that one. That's always every time I have a cruise to Cozumel twice now. We do Banana Land at sea. It's as insane as you think it is, and it's where they put all the Savannah bananas on a cruise ship together. This is some people's nightmare. Some people are hearing this for the first time and they're getting claustrophobic in their car right now.
Wow.
They put all 6 of these banana ball teams on a cruise ship and send the cruise ship to Mexico or the Bahamas or somewhere for like 3 or 4 days without like the banana fans. Similar to how JoJo Siwa did a cruise a couple months ago, notable pop star JoJo Siwa. Except this one sold out to the brim. People get really excited for it. Usually there's a game attached in Tampa or Miami where you port. And we went to Cozumel. Both years we go to Cozumel. You get off. First place you go, Senor Frogs. Come on. And they play La Bamba like on the hour, at the hour, because they're like, oh, look, the gringos are here. Surely if we play this, they'll give us money. And it works 60% of the time. It works every time. I have way too much money at the Senor Frogs in Cozumel because they play La Bamba. So I will say, there is something to this. Maybe it's why England played so well. It's because these are kind of bops that the Mexican nationals are giving to the England national team. You texted in our group chat at 2 a.m. Did you watch the whole match?
Yeah, I was surprised.
I did. I watched the whole thing start to finish. Dude, it was epic. Like, how could you go to sleep? How could you go to sleep with that going on? I couldn't stop.
The world, man. The world was there.
It's great.
Yeah. And even England's manager was very upset with the officiating and the red cards, and now UEFA is getting involved on the Folarin Balogun thing. I think it's a disgrace to sports. Nuts. This World Cup has even dating back to that Germany-Paraguay match, or Cape Verde over the weekend. I don't know if you saw that, an island that's the size of Marietta, Georgia, that nearly knocked off Argentina and gave them a bout in a 3-2 defeat, but put their country on the map. Piers Morgan tweeted out, I've literally never heard of Cape Verde, and people were roasting him. It was like, oh, that's pretty normal. But Cape Verde is not one of the countries you just wake up like, what are they doing today on the Cape? Like, no. It is the reason we love the World Cup. And now, the United States has an opportunity to punch its ticket to the round of 16, the quarterfinals. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Will Dalton producing today. When we come back, let's give you our obituaries. Who died today, as well as the quickie top 5 headlines in all of sports. Will Dalton read them. Drake Toll responds on The Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
Kodwa sensukwini zanamhlanje sibona kwenzeka kanjani amantombazane
She's a rich girl, she don't try to hide it. Diamonds on the soles of her shoes. He's a poor boy, empty as a pocket. Empty as a pocket with nothing to lose. Sing ta-na-na, ta-na-na-na. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. Ta-na-na, ta-na-na-na. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. 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 Say she's crazy, she got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. Well, that's one way to lose these walking blues. Diamonds on the soles of your shoes. She was physically forgotten, but then she slipped into my pocket with my car keys. She said, you've taken me for granted because I pleased you. Wearing these diamonds. And I could say, ooh, as if everybody knows what I'm talking about. As if everybody here would know exactly what I was talking about. I'm talking about diamonds on the soles of her shoes. She makes the sign of a teaspoon, he makes the sign of a wave. The poor boy changes clothes and he puts on aftershave to compensate for his ordinary shoes. And she said, honey, take me dancing, but they ended up by sleeping in a doorway by the bodegas and the lights on over Broadway, wearing diamonds on the soles of their shoes. And I could say, ooh, and everybody here would know what I was talking about. I mean, everybody here would know exactly what I was talking about. I'm talking about diamonds. People say I'm crazy, I got diamonds on the soles of my shoes, yeah. Well, that's one way to lose these walking blues. Diamonds on the soles of my shoes.
It is the Drake Toll Show. 7 o'clock hour Eastern Time. Good morning. Will Dalton produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. You can listen to the entirety of the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app on the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM 375, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, or you can listen back in podcast form wherever you find your podcast. That's the most fun way to listen because it sounds really awkward and weird because there's no rejoin music and just the sound of our sultry voices. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Drake. Good to see you.
Good morning, Laura. Good to see you, Laura. Good morning.
Good morning, Drake Toll.
Laura, can you take me through last night? We've talked extensively about your fandom and Mexico and just as someone who watched a country you care so much for play in the World Cup last night, the scenes out of Estadio Azteca as well. Take me through that 3 hours. And I understand the law, so this is kind of a crass question, but those 3 hours of your life, as I gear up to do that tonight.
Okay, well, look. Wait, no, to that. Look, it was actually really frustrating. The first half, I get it. It's, trial and error, do what you got to do. But that second half was actually really irritating to watch, really frustrating to watch. Me and my father were just like yelling at the TV. Really no words. I really wish Addie was here. I would really have loved to have like a little laptop next to me and watch with Addie, because I don't know if Addie had the same reaction as I did. We were like watching Mexico just lose themselves completely. And I don't know if to say lose themselves. It's really just not really find what they were doing. Like I was really confused. They were doing the exact same thing and not getting anywhere. So it was just really frustrating, really.
Yeah. It's frustrating that as someone who had no genuine rooting interest, but on behalf of Laura and Addie was rooting for Mexico. Also, we beat England in that war. Not saying I understand we have gone to war with Mexico before as well, but that doesn't matter for this context. Come on, you don't root for it. In this situation, we're all rooting for it. I thought collectively the United States were kind of rooting for Mexico. It's a cool story. You're for the cool story. Last night, frustrating the way that that England, again, they mucked up the game. 10 guys. Let's just make it kind of gross and right off in the sunset.
There was no reason for them to not win. They're one man down. You're at home. Their altitude should have had them down. Like you had the advantage. I don't understand. You had the power of the people, the power of the world. Scotland was behind you. Ireland was behind you, and I think my dad actually had made the comparison. He's like, this kind of reminds me of a little bit of like when we were watching the Dodgers play with the Blue Jays, of how like the Blue Jays were like kind of like, we're gonna win, it's good, like we're up, it's fine, we're all good. But the Dodgers were kind of just calm, collected, and like, yeah, they're winning right now, but we got the experience, we're calm, we'll get there, and they did. I was in England. England was like, we're gonna play how we're gonna play, we're gonna defend, and they did. They didn't even do anything. England didn't even play quote unquote great. Like they just played. And
slow. They played with slow pace. They controlled the pace. Mexico was a much quicker team.
And they
England said no. It's what
they didn't do anything. Exactly. That's embarrassing.
No,
that was embarrassing.
That's where it's embarrassing. Is a strong word. Of course, but it's embarrassing is a strong word. I was proud of the Mexican team that I rooted for a week.
They should.
On behalf of the opportunity to win was there. It's not like you did not get dominated, and the ESPN does the little thing where they do the momentum chart, and it favors Mexico, heavily favors Mexico. Like if you look at the box score, look at the stats here, you're heavily favoring Mexico in the way this should have played out, but it did not. And England takes a 3-2 win, and that is it for the Mexican national team in 2026 in the FIFA World Cup. And that's a segue into our obituary. Dead today, perfect games. Oh. Yuri Perez of the Marlins had 7 perfect innings on 92 pitches in a road game against the Athletics when he was pulled going into the 8th. fans, as you'll hear in this clip, loudly chanted shame as the bullpen promptly walked the first batter to end the perfect game. Compliments of John Boy.
Something I thoroughly appreciate is what we're seeing from these fans. Do I appreciate fans leaving the ball game? No, not necessarily. But under these circumstances, I can understand it because they wanted to see something special now, right? At least they were seeing something special with Yuri.
Well, they're saying shame right now.
Yes. The thing is, too, is that the fans don't realize and understand that what happened with Yuri, that he, is coming back from injury, that he hasn't been going. And of course, Yuri wants to be out there.
Well, there goes the perfect game. As Lake Bacher walks the first A's hitter he sees.
The A's would go on to score 5 runs in the 8th inning before the Marlins even got an out. Will?
You can't do that, dude. It's a perfect game we're talking about here. You never want to mess with that, especially when you're 6 outs away. Like, what are we even talking about here? I don't know how you feel about this, but me, it's like, I don't know. I keep him going.
I understand. Pitch counts probably like hey, we don't want to take him above 80, and they took him to 92 because he was working a perfect game. 92 in 7 innings is efficient enough. He can get out of this at 115, and I know that's still that would be tough, but he could feasibly get out of this at 115. Just let him lob the ball up there. Let him lob. You're on the verge of history. Let him go, and they didn't. And I love that there's not a single Marlins fan in the house. It's just the Sacramento A's fans chanting shame. They're the ones getting perfect gamed, and they're upset that they don't get to see history. Dead today, no perfect games. Also dead today, whatever the Constitution says or something like that. July 4th, the president promised to give a 4-hour speech. I didn't do that, but did address a pretty raucous crowd in Washington, D.C. And this quote went viral over the weekend. It's like, yeah, that's somewhere around what the Constitution is. Take a look.
And as our Declaration of Independence tells us, we are all made in the image of one Almighty God. And a communist will never say that. That's for sure.
Wait, does it say that?
Just drop that the last line in there. And a communist.
It's the remix. It's the remix. That's it.
It's the remix of the Declaration of Independence. All men are created equal.
No.
Endowed by their creator with unalienable rights. And a communist would never tell you that. It's just like, okay. It's great. The Declaration of Independence says this. And a communist would never tell you that. It's just a quote that's not. You're right. A communist wouldn't tell you that. That's a good point. It's not in there today. Also dead today. Man, this Cape. Any and all ever for the rest of time. Cape Verde slander. Late goal. Cape Verde would knot things up in extra time against Argentina, pulling themselves closer to what greater World Cup history. Here is the goal as called on Fox.
Semedo trying to reset quickly and try to catch Argentina napping. McAllister can't make the play. Lopez Cabral! It's incredible! It's remarkable! It's almost unbelievable! It's Cape Verde for a second time tonight, tying the game!
Unbelievable stuff out of Cape Verde. What's even wilder, though, after this goal to tie it, is that dead today, goals in the World Cup as heard on Fox. Take a look. Listen, the exact same goal, but in Spanish. This is crazy.
Monteiro, Semedo, libre, López, se cruza McAllister que no puede, Pacine, ¡Lo pegó! ¡De Cabo Verde! ¡Qué golazo de Sidney López Cabral! Si estaba en la mira de alguien, acaba de subir su cotización. Todavía más.
Like, what? If I could understand 70% of it, I'd watch every match in Spanish. It's just so much more electric every time. Oh,
it doesn't even matter. You can't understand. It doesn't even matter.
Oh.
That's true. The way the commentators was actually, they were insulting, not insulting, but the backhanded comments they were making of the Mexico team. It was actually kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah, on the Spanish broadcast? Or the English broadcast?
No, the Spanish broadcast. It was hilarious. They were like, damn, they were giving the English team gave them like the biggest slaps. Like, it was so funny. Well, in Spanish obviously it's funnier, but not in English.
Wow. By the way, breaking news: Belgium has been granted the right to appeal FIFA's decision. Keep you updated on that. So that's a good segue too. We're all full of segues today. It's time for the Quickie Top 5 headlines. All sports. Will Dalton reads them. Drake Toll has a minute to respond. Good thing that I'm Drake Toll.
Well, you stole my thunder a little bit right there. The fact that Belgium has lawyered up against FIFA's decision. That was the first one on the list.
Yep. This is now interesting. Remember, the U.S. could not appeal this officially, according to FIFA. They would have to do it internally, and it sounds like they did. And the president called or was involved or question mark. I just don't. The way it's all played out from a FIFA standpoint doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm still confused how we got here to the point you couldn't appeal, and it is what it is. Now it isn't what it isn't, and we're going to let them play. Belgium having the right to appeal doesn't make sense because the U.S. didn't have the right to appeal the initial call. Now, they would have to act pretty quickly. The match is in roughly 12 hours, but if Belgium is able to successfully appeal this in the span of 12 hours, which I'm not sure how we could operate that quickly and revoke this, review this, and overturn it, but I would assume Flo Balogun will play. If FIFA's gone through the trouble of the day prior to the match saying that Flo Balogun can play, I'd be shocked if those same FIFA overlords would say, nope, just kidding, we changed our minds. I fully expect Flo Balogun to suit up the United States and be on the pitch this evening. That's a minute.
And in addition to the World Cup, Wimbledon happening right now, and one of the biggest stories out of Wimbledon right now is yesterday, Naomi Osaka beating the world number one Arina Sabalenka, and now Osaka reaches the quarterfinals at Wimbledon for the first time. It's an incredible story. She had never beaten a top 10 player on a non-hard court. She was 0-13 in those matches. Osaka taking out the world number one.
Yes, Sabalenka is top-notch too, and Osaka doing this is a career-defining moment, one of the career-defining moments Osaka could have. And watching this over the weekend, watching Sabalenka, I watched from the airport, actually. I got this one in from the airport. There's a guy next to me who is just a total tennis head, who's like, you understand, like, Sabalenka, number one in the world, and this is for the quarterfinals. This isn't like semifinal or to go to the final. This is quarterfinals on the line here. And Sabalenka on the ropes against Osaka. Right? Tell me more. And again, a win like this, as was stated in that moment, is one that is career altering for the rest of what Osaka does. And her pulling off that upset means something significant for the tennis world. She's number 14. Sabalenka's number 1. And she now moves into a spot where the tennis world is once again talking about Osaka at the top of the game. That's a minute. Impressive minute.
All right, let's go to the world of baseball, where if you look at the overall standings in the league, it is like overwhelming how many more NL teams are just throughout the top 10 versus AL, and there's no worse skid in baseball right now than the New York Yankees. My New York Yankees, as a matter of fact, who have lost 9 of 10. And then yesterday, Jazz Chisholm had to leave the game early with some right big toe discomfort. The Yankees losing 9 of 10 after starting in Major League Baseball is one of the best teams.
Yeah, Yankees not being at 50 wins right now is shocking, considering how they started the season. And they're still 49 and 40. They're still 9 games above 500. And in an AL where everyone kind of sucks, I've said it multiple times the last 2 or 3 weeks, that we should just not allow the AL into the playoffs, into the postseason in Major League Baseball this year. Just play it a bunch amongst the NL teams. Like, the Marlins are 49 and 42. The Marlins are 49 and 42. That would contend for the top of the AL outright. They would lead the AL Central, lead the AL West by a couple of games, and be in contention in the AL East with the Yankees and the Rays. That's the Marlins, man, who have moneyballed their way into baseball prominence this year and significance. It is an embarrassment, not just what the Yankees are doing, what the AL is doing across the board. And the NL has proven to be the juggernaut. But it's baseball, parity filled. We'll see if that plays out when the World Series comes around. That's a minute.
In addition to, obviously, the USA situation today, after England and Norway's wins yesterday, they now move into a very highly anticipated round of 8 matchup between the 2 best strikers in the world, Harry Kane for England, and then Haaland, of course, for Norway.
Yeah. Erling Haaland and Harry Kane going toe-to-toe on Friday. This one's in Miami as well. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, somewhere later. Yeah, this is Saturday. This is a match, yours truly, living close to Miami, 7 hours away, that I've thought about. I got some serious considerations here. Rowe versus an England team who just went to Saudi Azteca and beat up on Mexico. These two squads, the fact that either England or Norway will go to the semifinal this year, pretty crazy, and proof that one star, it takes a team, but that one star can help carry you there. That's the case for each of these. That's a minute.
On Friday, LeBron James' agent Rich Paul went on with Max Kellerman, and they put out a whole whiteboard of destinations LeBron could go to. And then after that, this weekend, LeBron was hanging out in Akron with some of his old St. Vincent, St. Mary high school teammates. Could LeBron be tipping his hand right here as to where he's going to be going?
They were late. I think it was Bleacher Report tweeted something about how, maybe there's a roster spot. Cleveland's leaving open for Bronny. Cleveland feels like an odds-on favorite right now for LeBron to go back home for a year, but he wants to compete, and I don't think you're winning a title in Cleveland. I don't. That opens up. Is New York still a candidate? Would New York want to ruffle the feathers like that? Is Miami a candidate now that they've added Giannis? Are the Golden State Warriors still in play? All those questions are pertinent, but I like that Knicks, the LeBron to the Knicks possibility is maybe the most fascinating of all of them. Let's go there next. Thanks to Will Dalton for the Quickie Top 5 headlines on all of sports, and a minute to respond to each. Now, Chris Sachi, Locked On Knicks, joins the show as LeBron James, a New York Knick. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Country roads, take me home.
Happy 250th birthday, America. The U.S. men's national team is moving on to the round of 16, where they'll face Belgium in one of the biggest soccer matches in American history. Can the red, white, and blue do it again tonight?
Take me home, country roads.
Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. The tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
back at it on the Drake Toll show, where looks like Drake Toll has just rejoined the chat.
Oh, hey, good morning. Hey, everybody. This is what happens when lightning strikes your router, by the way. This is what happens when lightning strikes your Wi-Fi. It is thanks, Will, for picking up for me.
I don't know if he has.
Yeah. No one died. We're still all on the same page.
Got some audio difficulties here. Drake Toll going to be popping in with his audio here shortly. But in the meantime, we've got Chris Sachi on the line of Locked On Knicks. So maybe we can go ahead and get going with him while Drake gets patched in.
Hey, good morning, guys.
There he goes.
Wow,
there he goes.
Wow, this is what happens when lightning strikes your router. This is what happens. Chris Sachi was a part of this in Savannah, Georgia yesterday, one of the greatest thunderstorms of all time. Good morning. Good morning to the world. And Chris Sachi, Locked On Knicks. Sachi, how about the thunderstorm yesterday, big guy? I come on, let's start there, why don't we?
Yeah. Drake, thank you for having me, everybody. I'm Westwood One. It's an honor to be here, as always. Yeah, that was some serious clappers. I think that was only the reverberations of the Knicks championship run, right? I think that was just
there you go.
An aftershock.
There you go. Sachi said that I really want to have you on today in context of everybody else in the East, whether it's the Miami Heat, who are bolstering right now, or the Philadelphia 76ers, who have added a top 10 player in the NBA, a guy who was MVP caliber last season, Jaylen Brown. The Knicks are employing the strategy, at least for now, of keep the core together, keep it the exact same, and trust your guns. Is that the right approach as the rest of the East tries to reload to topple New York?
Yeah, Drake, I love the concept of it because for years and years, and this has been kind of an undertone of my appearances here on Westwood One with you, Drake, is that, the Knicks had a lot of lean years and a lot of off seasons where it's, what's the big move? Can we package for this guy? Who's going to come over and be the savior? Who's going to be the crystal ball? And now the Knicks are the hunt. It feels great. The NBA is a beautiful soap opera. You've got Miami swinging for Giannis. You've got a shocking Sixers trade to the Celtics, which I still can't really understand from Boston side, with Jaylen Brown and Paul George swapping teams. Detroit is really broken up their unit even after a really strong regular season. They're overreacting to some things. And the Knicks are just staying where they are. The Mitchell Robinson loss has been mitigated by an Andre Drummond signing. I think that was smart from the New York. So we can get there a little bit too. But it feels great to be the hunted because for so long, this Knicks team had to find the perfect little deal, right? And then now they have been able to just stand pat. When you win the chip, you can be confident in running it back.
Locked On Knicks. Sports says LeBron James would have signed with the didn't win the 2026 NBA Finals. Before I even give you a direct question based on that, what is your reaction to it?
It's so funny because Knicks fans and LeBron James have been acrimonious for forever. Because you look at that and say, well, why didn't you sign in 2010? Why didn't you sign in 2014, in 2016, in 2020, in 2025? Like, there were so many chances where LeBron could have come here and been the savior. Each time he found a better opportunity for himself, right? And then all of a sudden, okay, if the Knicks didn't win, he was going to come here and get all the credit, right? Because, look, LeBron is a smart guy. He saw exactly how this front office was beautifully making this team, and he wanted to get his fifth ring in New York. I get it, and it's really funny that was Rich Paul's quote. Like, it would have been the Knicks, and there were some tea leaves. LeBron loves to sprinkle some stuff out there. He was wearing Knicks towels. Like, we all kind of figured it was coming as Knicks fans. When he decided to re-sign, though, last year in L.A., the Knicks said, okay, we can win without you. And they did, which has been fun. So, again, like, this whole LeBron James saga, it's kind of fun as a Knicks fan to sit these things out, right? As you said, Drake, run it back. The key pieces are there. John Wallace says it on our show all the time. You have your starting five. They're still sitting in the front of the car They still enjoyed the parade. You might have to fill in some pieces in the chase car on this road trip, but your guys are still in the main car trying to defend as champions, while the rest of the East is going crazy. Kawhi Leonard, too, to Toronto is really fascinating. But all these teams going to have some sort of turnover, and the Knicks are just going to run it back with a championship squad.
Sure. So I guess if you're the Knicks, or even if you're Chris Sacchi, do you want LeBron James?
No, I don't. For a variety of reasons, Drake. I think, for one, LeBron James is not just the on-court, he's still, in this positionless era of basketball, a perfect player for any team, right? It's not like you got to bring a guy in who's going to want a bunch of shots, and he's extremely complimentary at this stage. I think that's why he's such a unique free agent right now. And that little whiteboard that Rich Paul had, he fits into every single team. But at the same time, Rich also said something interesting on that podcast, is that Jalen Brunson would have to almost go out of his way to accept this, because this Knicks team is not, Jalen Brunson built in the backs of a second-round pick. All these guys, Karl-Anthony Towns, a former number 1 pick who's now gone onto a new team who's accepted number 2 status. Like, regardless of what age he is and what stage he is in his career, LeBron James is an all-time great, and it's going to cloud, kind of a hierarchy of a team that did it themselves. So I don't think Knicks fans want him, Drake. I think, like I said earlier, there's been plenty of chances for him to come to New York, and he kind of rebuffed the Knicks every single time. And now, for it to happen now at age 42, I think would feel a little bit like, okay, you did it now once we won, so now I think it's not going to happen.
Blockbuster, that's been the word of the offseason, Sacchi, and whether it is Kawhi or Giannis or Jaylen Brown, as the East begins to bolster, which team do you see across this conference that can compete, that the Knicks should be scared of most now that all these moves have come down the pipeline?
I'll tell you what. I mean, the Sixers, the Knicks have dispatched them 2 out of the last 3 postseasons, which has been really fun. You look at, I think Indiana coming back to form is an underrated storyline. I think a lot of people have kind of just, only because they haven't made some massive move, kind of laid them by the wayside. But they were the Knicks nemesis who dispatched the Knicks in 2 out of the last 3 postseasons. So I think it's actually a combo of both. I think the Sixers are pretty combustible. You look at Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid. Like, on paper, boy, that's a team you don't want to face. Now, again, moving pieces. Jaylen Brown has not shown as much of an ability sometimes to coexist. I think that him and Jason Tatum were a little bit of a rocky relationship. I think it's been well documented. And how's he going to fit into a team? I just talked about it with LeBron, right? You come into an infrastructure that maybe you don't know yet, and that could ruffle some feathers. Well, this one's an extreme one in Philly. And then also with Indiana, the fact that they're kind of doing the same thing, Drake, from 2 years ago. Let's rejoin the band back together from a title appearance 2 years ago, and let's trust our infrastructure. So I think those two. I think Boston taking Mitchell Robinson away from New York is a really interesting one. But the fact of the matter is, the Knicks decided, okay, instead of shelling out $47 million for Mitchell Robinson, owner James Dolan had told everybody on WFAN and beyond that he was not going to go into the second apron. They did a really smart pivot in signing Andre Drummond, who's a New York product, who's had a lot of interest in coming to the Knicks in various years, and did so. And basically, he's not the defender that Mitchell Robinson is, but he's a 99th percentile rebounder. He actually shoots some threes nowadays. So I think that was a really smart pivot. But, to answer that question, Philly's a mass of talent. It is really big time. And I just got to see where LeBron signs. If he goes there or somewhere else in the Eastern Conference, I think my answer changes. But everybody else I'm still not feeling as worried about. Toronto and Kawhi is interesting. They have a couple former Knicks and RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, who the Knicks got in the OG Anunoby trade. I think they're scary, but I actually think Boston is really kind of in disarray now. Could be a bit of a zag, but losing Jaylen Brown and just trying to, trust the analytics on that one is very strange to trade a Finals MVP. So I think the fact that these other teams have gotten better, Drake, but I think Boston has oddly kind of lost themselves as a threat to New York.
Yeah, Sacchi, thanks for being up early with us this morning. Locked on Knicks, Chris Sacchi with the Drake Toll Show. Last thing I got for you, and thanks for fighting through these technical issues that are cinched up now. The vibe in New York, the vibe amongst the Knicks fan base, even listeners of Locked On Knicks. I understand the Fanatics gear probably won't be there until August or September for those who ordered it right after the NBA Finals was over. But
Right.
What is the air around this fan base still now, a few weeks removed from an NBA title?
I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. It's an honor. It's a pleasure to be the hunted and not the hunter. To understand, Drake, in many past off seasons, it was fan base going crazy, trying to cobble together trades, hitting up the ESPN trade machine, having pie in the sky dreams of LeBron James, who spurned the Knicks many a time, pie in the sky dreams for Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, who spurned the Knicks in 2019 into the 2020. So, there's always been, kind of like a failed promise that never worked itself out, and the Knicks were always the number 2 destination, getting guys like Julius Randle and, going from there and building foundations in other ways, which is how this title team came together. But there's like a swaggering, a confidence. Yeah, fans are going to really miss Mitchell Robinson. He was the longest tenured Knick. He was a second rounder. The Knicks got him in the Carmelo Anthony selection trade. So he's someone fans are really going to miss. But I think everyone understands, look, he was able to get his bag with the Boston Celtics, as much as, we were thinking anyone but Boston, please, anyone but Boston. But the fact that he got his bag, I think, is nice. And look, the Knicks re-signed Jose Alvarado, Landry Shamet, Mo Diawara to really bargain moves, for them to come back to a championship core. So I think we're all in the running back camp, Drake. Let's do this thing like you kind of started with the show. Is it an East that's scrambling to try to catch the Knicks and make these flashy moves? Yeah, but it's the flashy move versus the infrastructure of a championship team. And I think all of New York is on that confidence that we can run it back. I'm saying we, as a collective crazy fan base, with what we got versus the flashy moves that have not worked for the Knicks in the past, that's for sure. And other teams are going to try and recreate what the Knicks just did.
Chris Sachi, Locked On Knicks. Again, thanks for being up early with us, Sach, and look forward to catching up on Knicks soon. Wow. On more for the Knicks soon. Where can folks find you every day?
Yeah, they can Locked On, everywhere you get your podcast, Locked On Knicks, Spotify, Apple, you name it. YouTube will have some live shows and some daily shows. And our guy John Wallace, it was so funny. He spent his 4th of July with the Brunsons, and then previously that morning did an event with Leon Rose and Stephon Marbury. So we have a guy who has known Leon and has known the Brunsons for a long time. So you talk about boots on the ground. He gives us some tremendous insight that you really don't even get in the public space. So you can come to us for some of that intricate insight that you might not get elsewhere. Locked On Knicks, everywhere you get your pods, YouTube, you name it, we're there for you.
That's ridiculous. Chris Sachi, thanks again.
Thank you, Drake. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe from that thunder, baby. Come on.
Knicks in 5, sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. They're all catching the Knicks. I like how Sachi ended that one. Everybody, look, we're the hunted. Feels good. You all got to scramble to beat us. That's how New York Knicks fans feel on July 6, 2026. Now, Matt Miller, ESPN NFL insider, is being sued. His alleged misconduct spans a decade, and he's stealing money from people, allegedly. Here's more on a really odd story out of the NFL. This is the Drake Toll Show.
We know you're jonesing for some football just like we are. NFL training camps begin opening in 16 days. And yes, we're counting. Your home for the NFL. Westwood One Sports.
do. Yes. Boom, baby. We do the YouTube. Sirius XM 375. Again, man, craziest thing. Lightning storm yesterday strikes the one part of the house that I just would rather it not strike is the Wi-Fi router. So we patched together 7 coconuts, and both of my dogs are on a walking pad right now to make it all work. And we're so back. Many are saying.
Thank you, President Trump.
We're so back with this. The weirdest story to come out of the NFL since, I don't know, 4 days ago. Just the wild offseason we've had of players who have been arrested and served time in jail and speed out of parking lots because of hits and runs, and Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel getting it on, and then Mike Vrabel goes to Taylor Swift wedding with his wife Jen Vrabel, and it's like, oh, the 1,000 guests there and the random people that were invited to that wedding too. Just there's a lot. There was the Rashee Rice. I still wonder if Rashee Rice was there. #free4. And now Matt Miller, NFL draft analyst for ESPN, is the subject of the new controversy. He's under investigation by the Missouri Attorney General's office. So the situation has dated back to late June. I didn't really cover this. I didn't care. There was a car accident, Miller, Jasper County, Missouri, June 17th, 2026. And it's like, all right, guy gets in a car accident, life-threatening injuries, loses his left arm, survives. Hope he's okay. You're just like, oh, really tough. You hate that. There's nothing Diana Rossini about this or controversial because guy gets in car wreck, loses his arm, and it stinks. That's not all. We got some Bobby Petrino back in the motorcycle stuff with this one, baby. News of the accident prompted an outpouring of support, a GoFundMe campaign, medical expenses, long-standing complaints about... Hold on, wait, what? GoFundMe, a campaign to cover his medical expenses, outpouring of support, but also long-standing complaints about Miller's activities? All of a sudden, when the nation is rallying together on this NFL Insider, ESPN NFL Insider, to start a GoFundMe for a guy who lost his arm in a car wreck, people start asking questions. How does a guy who works for ESPN have to hawk for his medical bills? Why is he calling us, the public, to donate to his GoFundMe? And then it all unraveled. Matt Miller, NFL Insider, served as a commissioner for over 90 fantasy football leagues during the 2025 season alone, as per NBC Sports. And he's now been accused of failing to pay out winnings to league participants, many alleging they were unable to reach him when attempting to collect winnings or verify that the charitable portion of the entry fees was actually donated. Other users via Twitter have come out and said, wait a second, this is the same Matt Miller that I entered a raffle for. Yeah, Rip City Stacks. Says not to pile on the guy while he's down, but I was scammed by him in 2020. Allegedly, Rip City Stacks had applied for a raffle to win a signed Russell Wilson helmet. Matt Miller DM'd him and said, you won. I swear, I came here to DM you. I appreciate you, man. Matt Miller allegedly texted him. It'll get shipped to you straight from us, or maybe even straight from the Seahawks. And the user who won this supposed raffle DMs him over and over and over the course of months on end. Little to no responses, and then ultimately zero response. Let it lie. It's done. It's over. It never existed. Matt Miller, the NFL Insider, who GoFundMe had been started for because he had a car wreck. I mean, nobody looks at the NFL Insider and says, oh, must be something fishy going on there. No, he's your friendly neighborhood NFL Insider, Matt Miller, who's my commissioner. 90 different fantasy football leagues. Hey, it's Matt Miller. Yep, ESPN. Good to hear from you. Yeah, hey, send you $50 over, send you $100 over. Excited for the fantasy season. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. The allegations also portray Miller as a man who accepted payment for scouting lessons or services that were never fulfilled. Hey, if you just send me this money, I'll show you how we scout NFL talent. I'll show you how we talk about the NFL in a professional way. And others allude
to these sessions being less substantial than promised. And beyond the fantasy leagues, there are now questions about the destination of those funds. The charity funds. Hey, what about when I did the raffle for charity? Or when I sent you money because you're raising money for a guy to get a veteran to get a new laptop? Where did that money go, Matt? July 1st, this got so big, the Missouri Attorney General's office said, you know what? Enough's enough. We're investigating this guy. They've encouraged anyone, you included in this, who believes they were misled to call and contact their office. Read it in May of 2026. Had a whole thread on this. May, that's a month before the crash. It's a month before the GoFundMe. A month before any of this started to unravel, Matt Miller was painted as a bad guy on Reddit who was stealing money. It really gained momentum after GoFundMe. So we spent 48 hours with America being so upset. Gosh, we hate this for you, Matt. You got this car wreck. But then it comes out that Matt Miller was a month after being exposed for possible fraud, driving head-on into traffic. The GoFundMe campaign has been paused. Neither Matt Miller nor ESPN has provided a formal comment regarding the allegations or investigation, and he's been a prominent analyst for them, a writer with the NFL, with Bleacher Report in his past, for a decade plus. One of the most prominent threads, the whole deal, is the 417 Foundation. Miller reportedly marketed his fantasy leagues as having a charitable component. Investigations found that the foundation, 417, hadn't been active since 2021. He used a fake charity, allegedly, to take money from people to join his fantasy leagues, 90 of them. The registration of the foundation lapsed years ago. It received a cease and desist in 2019. You're not a thing anymore. Now, a high-profile analyst is using a long-defunct foundation to add legitimacy to these football leagues. 90 of them? 91 to be exact. Over 100 high-stakes leagues over the course of Miller's career as a commissioner. Also, while being a full-time network guy, you're exposed on Reddit, and then you go crash your car weeks before. Weeks before this, you're exposed on Reddit, and you crash your car. And a Reddit thread that was titled, Matt Miller Leagues Are a Scam. Unpaid winners, ghosted scouting lessons, overdue payments. And the GoFundMe campaign intended to support recovery. Listen, this is even crazier. As donations poured in, including Pat McAfee, Adam Schefter, the campaign's fundraising goal was moved. Started at 10,000, exceeded. New goal, 16,000, exceeded. 30,000, $55,000. Let's keep adjusting the goal so we can keep getting more money. Even the fantasy platform Sleeper intervened to remove Matt Miller from its leagues. Notable good guy. We all trust this guy, right? We can join his fantasy league for charity. Matt Miller has quite possibly been stealing money from thousands of people for years. And he didn't get caught. So he got in a car wreck. His arm was severed off, and he started a GoFundMe that moved the goalposts. That's a new one. Reach out to the Missouri Attorney General's office, by the way, if you've been scammed by Matt Miller. Sounds like a lot of you have. When we come back, we'll give you our idiots of the day. We can include that guy in there if you'd like us to. Will Dalton produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes.
Gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death construction. In the fields of bodies burning.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah.
The broadcast will begin in 3 minutes.
Politicians hide themselves away. They only started the war. Why should they go out to
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Time will tell them their power minds, making war just for fun, treating people just like
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Now in darkness, world stops turning. Ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power. And as God has struck the hour, day of judgment, God is calling. On the knees, the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for the sick. Satan laughing. Oh, Lord, yeah.
This is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. 8 o'clock hour on the East Coast. Good morning, everybody. Good to have you. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Will Dalton produces. Today's the day. Oh! The United States plays Belgium, and Belgium's not happy because Folarin Balogun
was released. He is free. FIFA, those four letters that I've always loved and been very, very proud of, has decided to do the right thing. Mike Pence had the courage. It is actually an odd piece of this whole thing. It was reported, ABC confirmed that the President of the United States called FIFA and said, hey, you know, what can we do about the whole Flo Balogun thing? Now, whether or not that did have an effect on this, FIFA has denied. FIFA has said, no. We all got in a room and decided that that this wasn't a red card. One of the reasons legends like Wayne Rooney have said that this is a disgrace to the game, one of the reasons that Belgium is now fighting back with an appeal, Belgium hasn't appealed their own, is because it wasn't that the red card was revoked, it's that the suspension was suspended. What? So here are the weird intricacies of what's happening with Flo Balogun. If you don't know, Flo Balogun, striker for the United States of America, had an incredible performance against Bosnia and Herzegovina, has been the U.S. most electric player in 2026 in the World Cup, incredible performance against Bosnia, and was awarded a red card, which means he was ejected and suspended for the next match after he accidentally stepped on an opposing player's calf. He didn't Zaza Pachulia the guy. He just accidentally stepped on a dude's calf, got a red card. And everyone in the soccer community agreed that was the wrong call. He should not have been ejected from the game. Sorry, match. Just in case, you needed that. And FIFA responded by saying the U.S. cannot appeal this. It is what it is. Sorry. FIFA has been known to do internal reviews before, and sometimes they can come back on internal review and say, you know what, not only are you suspended for a game, you're suspended for 3. They could have gotten his ass for 3 matches if they really wanted to. They could have reviewed it and said, nope, it's even worse than we thought. No more Flo Balogun. Or FIFA can go into a dark room and their overlords can decide, yeah, that's a bad call. VAR got it wrong. Let's allow him to play. But instead of lifting the red card, they suspended the suspension for a year. So Flo Balogun, for what he did, may have to serve a suspension. It just won't be during the round of 16. What? Like, that's why the world's mad. It's like, so you're going to suspend him, just not right now? That doesn't make any sense. The point of the suspension, if it's for disciplinary action against a guy who was overly aggressive in a soccer match, what you would do is just, you would suspend him. That's the rule. If you still think he should be suspended, then you should suspend him for the next match. FIFA said no. We believe he should be suspended, just not right now. And I get it, that's kind of fishy. But this is the same FIFA that was raided by the FBI. The same FIFA who, for years, has been under scrutiny for internationally being this group that has acted in without, its member nation's best interests at heart. And in this situation, a lot of people are calling out FIFA for being hypocritical. The hypocritical piece to me is that they wouldn't allow the United States to appeal the Flo Balogun red card. They are allowing Belgium to appeal the suspension of the suspension. Oh, geez. Try to make sense of any of that. I'm still wrapping my head around it today. That the news of Belgium's appeal came on the pipeline from Fox about an hour and 10 minutes ago. So that's very new. And I would be surprised unless they have Brendan Sorsby's attorney, if they could act this quickly and figure it out by tonight that he should be suspended. It's time. 8 o'clock hour for Idiots of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
If you missed this one, Brandon Ayuk has been calling out the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. He's been adamant that he will be released by the 49ers. Then Brandon Ayuk will then sign a free agent contract with Washington, D.C. However, Brandon and Washington have had apparently zero communication, and Ayuk is just manifesting this, but in his manifestation decided to go after star quarterback Jaden Daniels. Here's the latest on Ayuk calling out the signal caller.
Probably gonna text me talking about something. You on my team now. You follow my rules. Boy, I'm a grown ass man, boy. You have to stop running behind your mama, and I might believe what you're talking about. But until then,
I mean, that's a surefire way to never play in the NFL again, to display before God and everybody that you might have the effects of CTE truly showing themselves on your Instagram story. Now, CTE obviously a very serious thing. We should check this guy out, please, someone, immediately, quickly, because now he's calling out a quarterback he doesn't play for and saying, you're on my team, you follow my rules. Will Dalton producing today. Will, this sounds like a bad idea if you're trying to be signed by an NFL team.
Oh, it's a terrible idea. And see, I'm glad you brought up the CTE thing. Because the dude had a leg injury. So, like, he is displaying signs of that, but where is this coming? Because I have talked to people in the media from times in San Francisco interviewing him, and they said they never saw this behavior coming. They never saw the side of him. They don't know where this is coming from. It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre.
Bizarre is the right word to use for this. And Brandon Ayuk, I do not think he'll be a member of the Commanders. If he wants to be a member of the Commanders, this is probably not the way to do it. I wouldn't call their quarterback a guy who's hiding behind his mama and say that it's my team now. I have the reins now. Bad strategy from Ayuk. And also, he's probably just washed in general. I know he's 28 years old, but injury history to the whole, like, hey, this sounds like shades of CTE, or like we need to check this guy out. Brandon Ayuk hasn't been at the top of his game since 2023.
Produced nothing.
Yeah, it's the last time
produced nothing.
Yeah. No, out for all of 2025. 2024 was a cluster screw as well. And there were a couple thousand yard receiving years where Ayuk seemed to be, he was trending up in the NFL, good, wily young receiver, and now at 28 years old, his career might be over, as he is just saying the wildest stuff you could possibly conjure up out of an NFL player, and trying to will himself to a team that does not want him and a quarterback who does not want to throw to him. Thank you, Brandon Ayuk, for being the idiot of the day today. Idiot of the day, me. Yeah, I deserve this one. For not being an offspring of the president. It's from over the weekend, a sit-down interview with the president, who may or may not be inside trading. Take a listen.
I feel badly in a way for my kids, because every time my kids do, if they invest in a stock or they go and do a bill, anything they do, because the presidency is so powerful, so big, everything, if they buy a cupcake company, well, the energy to make the cupcakes is, sort of like, how's my energy policy? So therefore, we have a kind of like almost anything they do. If they want to buy a truck, if they want to buy, they buy an energy efficient truck, they have inside information. So it's pretty tough in that sense.
I think he realized after saying they have inside information, he goes, like, you just kind of knowing that maybe we shouldn't. One of the things we shouldn't admit, that every time my kids invest in a stock, anything they do, they have inside information.
I don't know.
Shit. That's not what I meant. Not what I meant. Sometimes there's acting, they're being intelligent. That is, I'm the biggest idiot today. Gosh, I would love to be able to get in there and buy a truck with that energy, that inside information, that inside energy information. Yeah. The idiot. You're the idiot of the day if you have not subscribed to Mexico as a World Cup team and Telemundo as a broadcast product. Last night, Telemundo Deportes. By the way, Laura, I just threw this on you. This is 100% on me. I don't know if I've ever told you this was in there, but hopefully this is a nod to you. It's something that we can play. This is rooting against Mexico. The goal that put Mexico within a goal late last night, as heard on Telemundo.
Centro del Piojo, la pelota que la
Wow. What happened to us, man? When did we as English speakers get so lame? Why can't we have that?
We can. I don't know.
I don't want to listen to anything else.
Why can't we have that? But who made the rules that we can't have fun?
I think the closest we've ever, so this is good dialogue. The closest we've ever gotten to that in professional American sports is Gus Johnson. Salah! Yeah. That's right. Maserati Marv! And you're like, yeah. And he may be the most controversial play-by-play guy in the game right now. I know people who despise listening to Gus Johnson call a game because he's so, quote, over the top. Like,
So it's the people who are lame.
Correct. We've been trained to not like this over the top. Like, we've been trained. It's the Joe Buck, Jim Nance. It's the let it eat. It's the deep drive, left field. It's gone. And then don't say anything for 4 minutes. We've been trained to do that.
Y'all are lame.
Have you ever listened to Eric Collins, play-by-play voice of the Charlotte Hornets?
Love her.
So he's another one. He's another one that just goes berserk. A lot of people will say, "Oh, this is too much. He's making every game seem like it's Game 7." I'm like, that's what I want it to sound like. I want that caffeine injected in my ears when I listen to EC. That's what I want. It's fun.
I think Collins and I have the same agent. We have some weird connection like that. And I've never like 2 planes in the night. I've never been around Eric Collins, but I love his work. He did the Baylor UCF football game, 2023. I was hosting the Baylor pregame show back then, and that's the game. It was Baylor's down 34 going into the fourth quarter, coming back to win it, and Collins was on the call. Oh my gosh,
insane!
Like, that's just dream scenario for Eric Collins to be on the radio or to be on TV. He was on Fox for that one. The voice of the Hornets, Eric Collins, gets a big. He's not the idiot of the day.
Why did he do?
But we are, as a society, we need to get better at allowing Gus Johnson and Eric Collins to and now maybe the Gus thing is like every play. Eric has a really good balance. Gus can 31 right tackle. He got it. It's like first quarter. You're like, all right, Gus. Okay, all right. I like
Texas. Thomas long balls.
I like that guy. I like that guy. Get that guy to do it.
That's energy. That's passion.
A wife, 4 kids, living in the suburbs.
That's passion. Wow. That's all I'm saying, man. You get some of that banana ball. You get.
Love that.
Don't let the kid get hot. Don't let the play-by-play kid get hot. Come on now. Final idiot of the day: NBA players who think they're poor. Carmelo Anthony explains why $100 million contract doesn't make professional athletes rich for life. I'm going to read the transcript of this, just the first couple lines. Melo, $100 million. Let's not get that twisted. It's not really $100 million. You're taking 50, 60% off the top. What? So that's $10 million. That becomes $5 million. Hold on, what? We just went from $100 million to $5 million because 50 or 60% got taken off the top. Where did the 50 or 60% get taken off of? Then you've got taxes. What do you mean then? Hold on. Where did the other money go? Oh, Mello. Where did the other money go? You've got a house, taking care of your mom. You got 4% agent fee. Now all of a sudden, you're broke. What? NBA players have gotten to this. It's happening. They all get a podcast. If NBA players all get a podcast now. Baseball players, they retire and go live in the woods. They retire, they go hunt. They hunt hogs for the rest of their life. NBA players like podcast. Football players podcast. And all they want to do is go in there and be like, I'm poor. Don't get it twisted. $100 million is really nothing. Oh, jeez. I volunteer as tribute. I'll go do it. Fine. If you guys don't want to play in the NBA, make those contracts. I'll pull up. It's good. That's good. It's good. Will, you weren't here for it, but we did have a guest who said, and I quote, Laura Layton. We had a guest say that one time.
Is that right?
That's a drop that comes straight from a phone call from a guest.
If you thought that was Drake, because that's what I thought, it's not.
The context.
What was the context?
Possibly alcohol. We're not positive. but it will live on in Drake Toll Show infamy. Will Pelagic joins the Drake Toll Show coming up. Voice of Charlotte FC to break down this suspension for Folarin Balogun in the United States. They go to the match tonight against Belgium. This is the Drake Toll Show.
While you're dodging the heat this summer, stay cool with the latest sports news.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. I go through the revolution, feed the babies who don't have enough to eat. Shoe the children with no shoes on their feet. House the people living in the street. Oh, there's a solution. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Right through the revolution. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Right through the revolution. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future.
slipping into the future.
Drums keep pounding a rhythm to the brain. La-da-da-da-dee.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM 375, and right here on your radio. And the World Cup has taken the United States by storm. And the story of the World Cup in the last week, since the United States beat Bosnia, has been Flo Balogun given a red card, suspended for the match tonight against Belgium, and then yesterday, unsuspended by suspension of his suspension. There's a lot to unpack here. Will Pelagic joins the Drake Toll Show, voice of Charlotte FC. Will, appreciate you being up early with us today and helping us break this whole thing down. How unprecedented is it that yesterday, on the eve of today's match with Belgium, Flo Balogun would be unsuspended via a suspension of his suspension? Please help me.
Drake, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I wouldn't say it's totally unprecedented, but it's highly irregular. What ended up happening was FIFA went back and ruled that the protocol that determined the final call on the field, the VAR intervention, was done improperly. And not only that, it was not done for the reasons that we use VAR in the game of soccer. They use VAR, video assistant referee, as the abbreviation, for what are called clear and obvious errors. I don't think that what took place on the field against Bosnia represented a clear and obvious error. But even with that, what they used to determine the call were only the stills and slow-mo replay. When you're trying to get a judgment call overturned, you need to use the full speed look. And anybody who looks at that full speed look can see there's two guys going for the ball. The contact is punitive, yes, but Flo Balogun has really no control over his body to be able to put his foot in a landing spot other than where he did. It wasn't like he was going for the gentleman's back of the heel on purpose. And I know that intent is not always something that is used in the laws of the game, but when it comes to judgment calls of this nature, what was on the field should have stood, because the only thing that VAR can overturn are clear and obvious errors, and I just don't think that was a clear and obvious error. I will say this. Both things can be true. The intervention from the White House and other parties might look a little bit kind of weird and fluky, and we're now seeing, of course, that Belgium has come back and basically said, hey, we'd like to appeal this. That was something that happened overnight, as first reported by The Athletic. So there maybe even could be another reversal in play. I doubt that happens, even though I really doubted that this would happen with Balogun itself. So it's a long way of explaining FIFA does have the protocol to make this happen, albeit it's probably only been invoked about 5 or 6 times in its history under what's called Article 27 of their bylaws, the most famous of which was a couple of years ago when Cristiano Ronaldo had a 3-game suspension reduced as a result of, I think, basically everybody wanting to see Cristiano Ronaldo play in the World Cup. So it's kind of one of those things that has been rarely invoked and, of course, has drawn a lot of international criticism. Although here, domestically, I think obviously a lot of overjoyed fans, myself included.
Yeah. Which, and I've mentioned today that the internal review could have led to, if they wanted to, I mean, FIFA can do what they like. They could have suspended Flo Balogun for 2, 3, 4 matches if they go back and truly wanted to. This decision, as you mentioned, is rare, but I guess unprecedented cannot be the word for something that has happened before. And Will, on that note, when it comes to Cristiano Ronaldo and his suspensions being suspended, is that different at all from what we're seeing with Flo Balogun, or is that in the exact same vein?
It's a little bit different because his suspension involved additional discipline. Like, he had served the red card suspension, which is the automatic 1 game that you get afterwards. Normally, when we've seen this happen, it's involved additional discipline being rescinded. This is a rare case where they basically said that the red card was awarded invalidly, I think is the way that I could put it most. Those are my words, not necessarily FIFA's words, but FIFA's saying because the fact that the call was not issued on the field, the fact that it involved VAR needing to be invoked, and not only was invoked improperly, but was used improperly, that's the justification they're using for suspending the suspension, if you will.
Will Pelagic, voice of Charlotte FC, joins the Drake Toll Show. Will, let's before we get to Mexico and England, what transpired last night in Mexico City, looking forward to Belgium this evening. What can fans of the United – I'm going to leave it pretty general here, see where you'd like to take it. What can fans of the U.S. men's national team expect now that Flo is back at a Belgium team that's gritty, but you now have an opportunity to make it to the quarterfinals?
Well, the thing about Belgium is that, it's the same cast of characters from the last time that the United States faced Belgium on the world stage about 12 years ago in 2014. The two goal scorers, the goalkeeper are all still there. They're just all 12 years older. I think that's something that the United States would be very would be very apt to try and choose to their advantage. There's a lot of people who say maybe the U.S. comes out and is maybe a little bit more conservative, plays in more of a shell. I feel like bravery is rewarded in the World Cup. And if you're the United States, I feel like you have to come in with the same kind of intensity that you had in the Paraguay and Australia games, as well as what you had against Bosnia. You have to see them go forward. You have to see them creating chances. It can't just be this passive wait around and wait for the counter type situation if you're the U.S. I think you definitely have to take your chances when they come, and you have to be able to show you can get forward and dominate in the midfield. This is going to be a very, very big game for Tyler Adams as well as Weston McKennie. Those guys have been, I think, the unsung heroes of this tournament for the U.S. We've talked a lot about Balogun. Obviously, Pulisic had a great opening match, but I think if you're looking at two guys who have been most instrumental in the way that the U.S. has looked when they've had their best moments, it's Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie. They've been incredible in terms of being able to regulate the game. I also think that the back line has been very undervalued by a lot of people who might have had some concerns about it coming in. I think Chris Richardson's a great anchor there. Tim Ream has looked very, very good, and Alex Freeman has come on as well from a very, very impressive standpoint. So they're firing on all cylinders. I just hope that they put their best self out there and not try to do what, say, the Netherlands did and change their form completely, trying to maybe more grind out a result as opposed to showing their true colors.
Storyline number one, certainly Flo Balogun and the United States and Belgium today. Number two, and going back to yesterday, Norway over Brazil, England over Mexico. What was the shock factor for you of Erling Haaland knocking off Brazil and reaching the quarterfinals, their first ever?
I don't know if it's necessarily a shock value. It's just it's very hard to see a team in this tournament historically be dominated by one person's involvement, because when you get down to the round of 16 is that you do see a lot of times players of that nature that are or teams that are dominated by a singular entity somewhat get neutralized. Best defenses will always find a way to cover up a striker and things of that nature. The fact that number one, Norway advances, and number two, it's because of literally Erling Haaland and only Erling Haaland is the most shocking part of it. And I think, again, Brazil's dominance on the world stage is largely a thing that is done of the past. I know that people will sit there and say, what about the glory years? This could have been the big thing with Vinicius Jr., Neymar's final World Cup. I think, again, Brazil have some nice pieces, but they're far from the dominant world-scape footballing nation that they have been. I would say Norway is a mini upset, but I think, again, they have the best player on the field, which a lot of times ends up being what ends up winning these games, unless you have a team that is like a France or a Spain that just has a very great unit of players that play cohesively together. I don't know if Brazil is that, which is a terrible testament to Carlo Ancelotti, because I think Carlo is one of the best coaches in the world. The fact that he couldn't get this team to play really cohesively unless they were playing an overmatched opponent, I feel is a great disappointment for them. But I would say, again, a lot of it comes down to how well Erling Haaland is playing. And when a great striker is playing well, a lot of times it can overmatch even the best teams.
Will Pelagic joining the Drake Toll Show, voice of Charlotte FC. Will, again, appreciate being up early. Last thing I got for you, England over Mexico last night, playing half of this match with down a man and 10 out there, Jude Bellingham. In the span of me brushing my teeth and putting on my jammies, 3 goals were scored in this match. And in the end, England mucked it up enough for the game to play into its favor and held on to win. I understand, England is probably the better. They're the better team on paper, and they were favored by the betting sites by the time that we started it last night. But Mexico at home, that environment, that atmosphere, showcased to me what the best of the World Cup is, and what makes this event so incredible across the world is what kind of grit. What does this say about England to have pulled off a win in a match like this down to 10?
It's incredible grit, and I think, again, they did exactly what you need to do in a game of that venture. Get out to a bigger lead, have your best players show up. I mean, Jude Bellingham is somebody who, for as much as we talk about Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, that's kind of the metronome for the English team. Like, if Jude Bellingham is looking good and playing well, that is something that you definitely look at and say is a harbinger for their success. We know Kane can score goals in bunches. We know Kane can do a lot when it comes to being a poacher, but Bellingham is obviously somebody. I mean, he wears the number 10 and Harry Kane wears the number 9, because I think Bellingham is somebody who just takes him to another level, with Harry Kane being somebody who is a world-class player, but obviously needs some help. And Bellingham obviously being a big part of that. I think getting out of that 2-0 lead was incredibly huge. And then, of course, we kind of knew that there would be some things that happen. Anybody who's watched any kind of CONCACAF action in their time has seen that, whether it's in Mexico, whether it's in Central America, things of that nature. I know that the referee himself was Australian, but for whatever reason, anytime you step inside Azteca, crazy things seem to happen. And I think it was weathering those moments as best that they could. And I think also just knowing that there was going to be a Mexico punch back. I was really disappointed that Mexico was not more innovative in the final half hour when they were down at 10 men, that they didn't have better ideas than just, sitting there and putting 41 crosses into the box. They needed to do more to try and draw England out. I know England, very much, as I saw somebody put it on Twitter, they not only parked the bus, they took the 4 wheels off and put them on cinder blocks. They did not move outside of the penalty area, basically, for the final half hour plus of that match. But I give a lot of credit to England for being able to hang tough. And I also think, again, that Mexico failed to really take as much advantage of that man advantage as they probably should have.
Will, appreciate your time. How can folks best follow you?
On Twitter, at Willie P. Style. That's how you get me. That's the best way to do so. And like I said, we are about 2.5 weeks away from our own league restarting. So looking forward to that, and obviously the rest of this World Cup as well.
Love it. Will, thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Drake.
That's Will Pelagic joining the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Yeah, I mean, England's down to 10, and Mexico did not take advantage, right? That's obvious. You had 40 minutes to take advantage, and you didn't. And in a 3-2 loss, Mexico falls to England, who now moves on to which could very well go into a match against like Bellingham or Harry Kane and go to the semis in 2026. This isn't the toughest path ever for Mexico. I know Erling Haaland is one of the best players. He's become the face of the World Cup in many ways for 2026 as one of these young stars, 25 years old, jumping onto the scene, the long blonde hair, the row. But that's the most frustrating part if you're Mexico, is you had the window of opportunity for a semifinal run was there for you, and now it's not. When we come back, let's go through the highlights for Mexico. Let's hear from the experts, too, on Flo Balogun. You should be dialed in today to the World Cup. Today is World Cup Day. Tomorrow is World Cup Day. United States. Today, this is where America's 250th birthday really comes into play. Tonight, the USA and Belgium. What can you expect out of the Americans? This is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app with Will Dalton producing and Laura Jimenez running the board. It is the Drake Toll Show.
Country road. Dear friend, if you want to feel better, don't let the devil make you toss this letter. If you've been crushed up by voodoo, the wizard or the lizard, you got family trouble, man trouble, woman trouble, no life through the rubber. You're looking for a true friend or a true lover, or if you've been living undercover. Doesn't matter if it's a large town or a small town. Just like Joshua and the fabled walls of Jericho, I'm here to tear down the institution. God spoke to me, said, listen to me. I anoint you with the power that'll get them all moving. You're agitated, you're praying, meditated, you're concentrated on getting elevated. By sundown, one day, you who come will be blessed with a big money blessing. You will be doubted by all the unbelievers on all of the things I'm addressing. But you must tell 7 friends. You must first bring 7 friends. And don't be selfish and keep this all to yourself and don't eat shellfish. Hate is trying to take someone else's love for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that love is trying to help someone else. I realize that you have tried and are just about ready to give up. But I got good news for you. God has spoken in my mind and told me to tell you to get moving in the right direction for a change. I'm gonna put you in the fast lane. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right away. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right about now. God 7, open up the windows of heaven and pour out a rich and mighty blessing. Not on this town or her town, but your town. Are you ready for the message? I have a special financial blessing that once I have placed in your hand. Yeah, I want you to begin using this blessing on the very first day that you can. And if you are suffering a strange sickness, or someone is blocking up all of your success, you need to see me right away so I can fix this. Sound sincerely yours in faith, love, and peace, your friend Archbishop Harold Dear friend, if you want to feel better, don't let the devil make you toss this letter. If you've been crossed up by voodoo, the wizard or the lizard, you got family trouble, man trouble, woman trouble, no night through the rubber. You're looking for a true friend or a true lover, or if you've been living undercover, well, I'm coming to your town to break it all down and help you with all of this. I'm looking to help you find bliss. One day, one way, can't miss. I'm here to tear all the walls down. Doesn't matter if it's a large town or a small town. Just like Joshua and the fabled walls of Jericho, I'm here to tear down the institution. God spoke to me, said, listen to me. I anoint you with the power that'll get them all moving. You're agitated, you're praying, meditated, you're concentrated on getting elevated. By sundown, one day, you who come will be blessed with a big money blessing. You will be doubted by all the unbelievers on all of the things I'm addressing. But you must tell 7 friends. You must first bring 7 friends. And don't be selfish and keep this all to yourself and don't eat shellfish. Hate is trying to take someone else's love for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that love is trying to help someone else. I realize that you have tried and are just about ready to give up. But I got good news for you. God has spoken in my mind and told me to tell you to get moving in the right direction for a change. I'm gonna put you in the fast lane. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right away. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right about now. God 7, open up the windows of heaven and pour out a rich and mighty blessing. Not on this town or her town, but your town. Are you ready for the message? I have a special financial blessing that once I have placed in your hand. Yeah, I want you to begin using this blessing on the very first day that you can. And if you are suffering a strange sickness, or someone is blocking up all of your success, you need to see me right away so I can fix this. Sound sincerely.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12, and right here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM 375, and the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel. Because every radio show's gotta have YouTube now, otherwise you're not cool. Catch up with the times, modern era. Will Dalton is in, Brady Bates today, and Laura Jimenez runs the board. Look, I get it, dog. You know, you listen to the show today, and there are a few of you who are like, soccer again? We have to talk about soccer. And I understand, guys, somebody who grew up in Valonia, Arkansas, population 4,000. The one thing we didn't do was soccer. You know what we did? Can I tell you perspective? When I was a freshman in high school, my Spanish teacher's name was Jose. Can you believe that? Jose was 22 years old. He was an undergraduate student at local Hendrix University. And so when the undergrad, we're like, well, we don't really have anybody in the area to teach Spanish. What do? They called the university and said, do you have anybody, named Jose? Yeah, what about it? Like, could he teach Spanish? Sure. They just brought him in there to teach Spanish. He went to freshman in high school. And you know what happened on the first day of profiling? They said, Jose, any way you could coach the soccer team? And he did. This is the perspective that I grew up on as it pertains to soccer. Is Valonia High School problematic? I know. Goes to a local college and is like, you got anybody with a Latin American background, maybe? Could we get him in here, coach a soccer team, and teach Spanish? So I didn't grow up in an atmosphere. I played when I was 4 at the shin guards. I didn't grow up in a soccer atmosphere. I didn't grow up watching it religious week football, Saturdays. That's what the SEC. But what fires me up so much about watching last night, England and Mexico, or for tonight, the United States and Belgium, is the world stage being in North America. The world stage converging on Estadio Azteca, or Dallas, Seattle, Tampa, and Miami, and Lawrence, Kansas. This is an opportunity to showcase the best of the United States in a time where, unprecedented times, everybody hates everybody, and liberals and conservatives and woke. No, all that just gets to be put aside for a second. And you watch the United States take on Belgium tonight in the World Cup. That rocks pretty hard, dog. But before we can get tonight, tonight's made possible by Folarin Balogun, who was suspended for this evening's game until yesterday. FIFA said, nope, just kidding, unsuspended. Ha ha! Zlatan, soccer legend, and Fox analyst, reacting to the news. Here's the audio.
Correct decision in the end, but whole process for you?
We can let Alexei wait. What I want to say is I'm happy for the U.S. Obviously, it's a different situation, but like Thierry said, first of all, you should not get a red card. Yes. And then they should have come quicker this call, but I'm happy for the U.S. team because the U.S. team has been amazing, but Balo has been super amazing. And with him is an extra force.
FIFA screwed it up from the beginning, and they finally got it right. The United States, Belgium tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time from Lumen Field in Seattle. In the meantime, we'll see you back, 12 hours ago? England and Mexico squaring off. But I'm brushing my teeth and putting on my night cap, my little pajama pants. In the span of about 6 minutes, I missed 3 goals, including this one from Jude Bellingham to put England up 2-0.
England have it again with Anthony Gordon. Big 5 and 10 minutes on. We can't see it for Mexico. It's played on to Harry Kane. After the Bellingham fail again. And England lead 2-0. In the blink of an eye, the game's going away from Mexico.
Yeah, within like 90 seconds, this occurs. Ugh. Luckily, though, Julian Quinones, as heard on Telemundo.
Amagamora, centro del pio.
I mean, couldn't have said it better myself, man. The guys landed the plane there. That was awesome. It's 2-1, and Estadio Azteca in Mexico City goes nuts. But in the end, it is Harry Kane that gives England a 3-1 lead. Raul Jimenez brings it right back 3-2, but Jude Bellingham was the difference. England wins the match. Here is notable good guy Jude Bellingham after the contest was over.
That big smile says it all. Just what sort of result is that to come here against this opposition in this stadium at this altitude?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the biggest England wins in a while. Probably the biggest one I can remember as a fan or player. The best night of my England career probably. Yeah, just unbelievable. I can't put it into words right now. It's tough to kind of gather everything together. The goals, the penalty against, the penalty for, the red card. It was a chaotic game, but credit to Mexico, they were a different class. We never underestimated them for 1 minute, and they were exactly as good as we thought they were going to be. But this team showed character tonight, and I'm proud.
Is that what it took to get it over the line, that character? Because you did it with the game, literally half the game with 10 men.
I was just saying that it felt like a full squad performance. It felt like we had 26 players. Every time we cleared the ball, when Big Dan Burn, smashed his head off one and cleared it up the pitch, you could see all the subs on the sideline up, all the staff. The fans got behind us in the stadium. I'm sure they're in bits at home, supporting us and watching us. So yeah, that was a real country performance.
It was Jarrell Kwanzaa, 54th minute, who earned a red card and left England for half the match without a man. They were down to 10. Still mucked it up enough to win 3-2 the final. In the other World Cup game yesterday, Erling Haaland, the blonde guy, got kind of like this Thor thing going on, was dominant in a win over. It just doesn't make sense in the psyche to hear Norway beating Brazil in soccer, but it's exactly what happened. Haaland puts Brazil up 2-0 late, and this would be the difference.
Shelter up's been brilliant since he came on. Haaland, he wants another one. He's got another one. How about that? Extraordinary. Just phenomenal.
Yep, and Norway wins 2-1 today at 3 East time, AT&T match, and the United States will play Belgium. That is 8 o'clock, Lumen Field, Seattle, Washington. Those two square off. What you can expect out of the United States this evening, the return of Folarin Balogun to give you a massive bump. The red card suspension was lifted. It was the suspension was suspended, so he will play. The team's leading scorer will play tonight against Belgium. Unlike Belgium, who struggled defensively, relied on late-game heroics, Belgium had to rally big time against Senegal. They were down 2-0 with 3 or 4 minutes to play. It was something just silly, stupid for Belgium to even get a win to get to this point in the tournament. The U.S. has proven they can control games, maintain defensive structure, even against high-caliber opponents, and you saw it against Bosnia. The U.S. just dominated that match top to bottom. Their level of domination is something Belgium has not done in this World Cup. It bodes well for the United States and the match in Seattle. That Seattle factor, one of the loudest stadiums, if not the loudest stadium in the United States, will host the World Cup tonight. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Will Dalton in to produce. Today it's time for Music Monday. Laura
edition in place of Addie. I'm here. And I'm really trying to make this easy. I'm not familiar with your taste, so here it is. Okay. 1 to 5.
All right. Full tape.
I hopped up the plane at LAX with a dream, my cardigan. I wanna see you fall on your knees. You either wanna be with me or leave me. Come on now. We'll dance the night away. I'm gonna make you mine.
Crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay, go ahead.
Oh.
One of those was for our dear Will.
Will, can I phone a friend for the first one? Let's hear the first one again.
Yeah, you. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
I said thank you.
Can we hear the first one again? What's the first one?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, phone a friend, Will. What do we got here?
I don't know that one.
I don't either. Laura.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, Boogie Wonderland. What do you mean? That's disappointing.
Bad. Nightmare. All right, song number 2.
I hopped up the plane at LAX with a dream, my cardigan.
Unequivocally, Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus. Way too easy.
Thank
Thank you. That was very good. Very easy. Very
That was
easy.
for me.
Thank you. Song 3.
I wanna see you fall on your knees, knees. You either wanna be with me or leave me. Come on now.
Yeah, what do you got on this one, Will? I don't know this song. It's a bop, but I don't know it.
this.
What do we got here?
I don't know this one. I think I might be able to help on the next one though.
Nelly
All right, Laura, what do you got
Furtado.
there?
Nelly Furtado, Man Eater.
Yep. No, Okay. Wow, I should know that. Wow. Song 4.
Is it Frankie Valli?
I mean, that's a little Sherry by Frankie Valli. Got to be Frankie Valli. 100%. No doubt. Absolutely, Frankie Valli.
Too easy.
4 Seasons. And Old Man Frankie still singing that one. Well, his animatronic still singing
Dead or
that
Alive, Dead or
Avril
Alive.
Lavigne situation. All right, song Alive. Alive, barely. Song 5.
Crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see.
Dust in the Wind, Kansas.
I knew you'd get that one. I knew you'd get that one.
Notable Algeria fans, Kansas. Yeah, there we go. We did it, Joe. Landed the plane there. Will Dalton, thanks for producing today in place of Addie Bates. It is Laura Jimenez running the board to Colin Jones, Armin Williams, Bruce Gilbert, and Ryan McGuire. Thank you for giving me a job. I really enjoyed that. You Better, You Bet is coming up, fastest show in all of sports. It is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app on Sirius XM 375. This has been, always will be, The Drake Toll Show.